Welcome to the first expensive mistake you might be making. Ignoring the math. You know that feeling when you're driving and a thick fog suddenly rolls in? Your heart races, hands grip the wheel tighter, and you slow down, straining your eyes to see what's ahead. That's a bit like trying to navigate your financial future without understanding the math behind it. Imagine you're on a journey. You wouldn't set off without a map, would you? The same applies to your financial journey. You need a budget, your financial map, to guide you. It's not about depriving yourself of life's pleasures. Instead, it's about understanding where your money is going and making conscious decisions about your spending. Now, let's talk about compound interest, the magic ingredient that can transform your savings. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, gathering more snow as it goes along. The snowball represents your money, and the snow it collects is the interest. The longer the hill, or the more time you have, the larger your snowball becomes. In simple terms, compound interest is earning interest on your interest. You're not just earning returns on the initial amount you put in, but also on the interest that accumulates over time. It's the secret sauce that makes your money work for you. But here's the catch. The magic of compound interest works best when given enough time. The earlier you start saving and the longer you let your money grow, the more powerful the compounding effect can be. So, whether you're a math whiz or not, it's essential to understand these basic principles. You wouldn't drive blindfolded, would you? Then don't let your finances be a foggy road. Use the power of planning and compound interest to clear the mist and illuminate your path to a secure future. Remember, a secure future begins with a solid plan. Moving on to the second potential pitfall, putting all your eggs in one basket. Have you ever heard of a one-trick pony? It's a performer who can only do one thing well. In the world of investing, a one-trick pony portfolio is one that relies heavily on a single investment. Sounds risky, right? Well, that's because it is. Imagine you're a tightrope walker. You wouldn't place your entire trust in one rope, would you? You'd want a safety net. That's what diversification does. It spreads your investments across various assets, reducing the risk of losing all your money if one investment goes south. Diversification isn't just a fancy word thrown around by financial gurus. It's a shield that can protect you against market meltdowns. When you diversify, you're not just investing in different companies, but also in different sectors, regions, and asset types. Think of it like this. You wouldn't want to eat the same meal every day, right? You'd want a balanced diet. The same concept applies to your portfolio. A balanced portfolio could include a mix of stocks, bonds, and real estate, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Stocks can offer high returns but come with higher risk, while bonds are generally safer but to give lower returns. Real estate, on the other hand, offers a tangible asset that can provide regular income and potential price appreciation. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should randomly throw your money at different investments. That's not diversification, that's gambling. Diversification is about thoughtful, strategic allocation of your investments based on your financial goals, risk tolerance, and investment horizon. So, the next time you're tempted to go all in on a single stock because of a hot tip, remember the one-trick pony. It might wow the crowd for a while, but when it stumbles, it falls hard. Don't let your portfolio be a one-trick pony. Diversify. Because remember, diversification is your shield against market meltdowns. Here's the third costly mistake. Believing small indulgences don't add up. It's easy to dismiss the impact of everyday expenses. After all, what's a few dollars spent on a latte, right? But let's break it down. Imagine you're buying a fancy latte every working day. That's 5 lattes a week. Now suppose each latte costs about $5. That's $25 a week, $100 a month, or about $1,200 a year. That's quite a sum, isn't it? Now think about what could happen if you saved that money instead. If you put that same $100 a month into a savings account with an average annual interest rate of 2%, in 10 years, you would have saved over $14,000. That's not just a lot of lattes. That's a decent vacation, or a down payment on a car, or a good start to a college fund. The point is, small expenses add up over time, and the money you spend on them could be put to better use elsewhere. This is not to say that you should never indulge yourself. After all, life is to be enjoyed. But it's about understanding the trade-offs and making informed decisions. Try to be mindful about your spending habits. Maybe you don't need that daily latte. Maybe you can bring lunch from home instead of eating out every day. Maybe you can skip that movie night out and have a cozy night in. There are many ways to save without drastically altering your lifestyle. Remember, it's not about depriving yourself. It's about making choices that align with your long-term financial goals. It's about understanding that the money you save today can significantly impact your future financial stability. So next time you're about to make a small, seemingly insignificant purchase, take a moment to consider the potential long-term implications. You might be surprised at how much you can save. And who knows, maybe that dream vacation isn't as far off as you think. In the end, every penny saved today is $1 earned for tomorrow. Let's dive into the fourth misstep: ignoring the rainy day. You know, the unexpected car breakdown, the sudden home repair, or the unwelcome medical bill. These are the storms of life, and they can come out of nowhere. It's easy to think, it won't happen to me. But here's the thing. Emergencies happen. They're part of life. And when they do, they can wreak havoc on your financial stability. That's where the emergency fund comes in. Think of your emergency fund as a financial umbrella. It's there to protect you when life decides to rain on your parade. Without it, you're left scrambling, stressed, and potentially spiraling into a pit of debt. And that's a pit no one wants to fall into. An emergency fund is more than just a buffer against unexpected expenses. It's a peace of mind. It's knowing that if your car breaks down, you won't have to worry about how you're going to afford to fix it. It's understanding that if you lose your job, you'll have some time to find a new one without panicking about how to pay your bills. But how much should you save? Well, a good rule of thumb is to aim for 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Yes, it may seem like a daunting number, but remember, you don't have to save it all at once. Start small, save what you can. Every little bit helps. And don't forget, your emergency fund should be easily accessible. There's no point having a safety net if you can't reach it when you need it. So, keep it somewhere you can get to it quickly, like a savings account. To sum it up, an emergency fund isn't just about preparing for the worst. It's about empowering yourself to handle whatever comes your way. It's about taking control of your financial future and saying, I got this, because you do. You really do. So let's not ignore the rainy day. Let's embrace it. Let's prepare for it. Because a safety net is a stress buster and a future saver. Finally, the fifth expensive mistake: waiting for the right time. Picture this: a person kicking a can down a seemingly endless road. The can is labeled retirement planning. Now imagine that as they continue to kick the can, they're also aging, and every kick feels heavier than the last. This metaphor represents the dangerous game of procrastination many play when it comes to financial planning. Like a leaky faucet, procrastination may seem harmless at first, but as days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, you'll find that the small problem has ballooned into a crisis. The time you thought you had is now lost, and the money you could have saved has slipped through your fingers. The truth is, there's no perfect time to start saving or planning for retirement. The economic climate will always be unpredictable, and personal circumstances will continually evolve. Waiting for the stars to align may leave you waiting indefinitely. The power of compound interest works best when given enough time to grow. The earlier you start, the more your wealth can multiply. It's like planting a tree. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. So don't wait for a promotion, a lottery win, or a sudden windfall to start saving. Start with what you have, however small it may seem. Small, consistent investments can grow into a significant nest egg over time. Remember, The journey to financial security doesn't demand giant leaps, but consistent steps in the right direction. Every dollar saved today is a step towards a more secure future. Procrastination is a trap that lures us with the illusion of comfort, but it's a comfort that costs us dearly in the long run. Breaking free from this trap requires action, and the best time to act is now. Time is the most valuable asset you have. Don't let fear steal your future.